Some breaking news out of Union City, where we've just learned a student was arrested with a loaded gun at the high school today. State police arrested a man from Grand Rapids overnight after they say he passed out drunk inside his car with a child inside. A standoff in Berry County that began late last night coming to a peaceful end this morning. We've been talking about this for a couple months now. Homeowners with waterfront property in Spring Lake are running out of patience as their homes are in danger of being swept right into the water. Ottawa County deputies are looking for a teen who went missing after a New Year's Eve party. And multiple kids are in custody after investigators say they broke into a number of cars in Kalamazoo overnight. This attack last night, not really a surprise. And now we're talking about new sanctions. And we're now 8 days into the General Motors strike, and still there's no real clear end in sight. There's debris everywhere. In fact, I am standing on the roof of an apartment complex. It is just incredible. And this apartment roof came from all the way. It's hard to see in the dark, I know, but it came from all the way across the street. These documents right here from the Coldwater Police Department are highly redacted. Like, what is closer to the holidays?
Right.
If you have snow, you're close enough.
Yeah.
I wanted to come up to this second level here to just give you an idea of how big this event is. Calm now, but we saw a little bit of everything today. We saw sunshine, we saw snow, we saw wind. Meteorologist Szatkowski joins us in our weather center with a look at when we can expect more snow in our forecast. Police are looking for a suspect following a chase this evening. This is a live look at that scene near 5 Mile and the Beltline. The 43-year-old accused of not only assaulting that teenage girl, but also taking her to Rhode Island is now facing federal charges for doing just that. Going back to that phone call with the Ukrainian president, before this announcement came out, President Trump said that he planned on releasing that full unredacted transcript tomorrow, in fact. And the whole thing was caught on the homeowner security cameras. Take a look at this. Gymnastics on the Grand is happening this weekend. 2,400 gymnasts will be there. You didn't see that game. You missed out. Go ahead and watch it again.
Well, tonight, erosion is destroying properties along the lakeshore. We've seen it happen throughout the last couple of months, but now at 5, we look at water systems and long-term plans to protect those lines beneath the earth.
Somebody got in with a gun in this club, and my son was shot in the process.
And he's now in critical condition. Tonight, why that man's mother believes the bar it happened at may be to blame.
And more wind is expected, even though winds are dying down right now, and those winds could produce some issues on Lake Michigan once again by tomorrow evening.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Doug Reard.
And I'm Annie Szatkowski. This is Fox 17 News at 5.
From the station with the most local news, Fox 17 News at 5 starts right now.
First here at 5 o'clock, a local public works department keeping a very close eye on that continuing erosion along Lake Michigan.
Because if erosion continues the way it does, some of their water systems could be at risk. Our Michael Martin explains.
All right, turning things over to weather now with a live look over downtown Grand Rapids. You can't tell from our tower cam, but we saw Michael out there on the lakeshore. That wind was really whipping today, possibly causing more issues of erosion along the lakeshore. We just can't get away from it.
The mother of a man shot inside of a local nightclub says she's concerned with their safety measures.
Police say her son was an innocent bystander when a confrontation turned into a shooting at the bar. Our Darren Cunningham joins us in studio with her story. Darren, thank you. Glad he's recovering. A woman in Grand Rapids is facing charges after investigators say she stabbed someone this morning. It happened at Arena Place Apartments off of Ottawa Avenue right around 3 a.m. Police say the 24-year-old victim was stabbed in the upper chest. He's expected to be okay, and that suspect is now behind bars. Police believe the two do know each other. However, names have not been released yet. And the man who led police on a high-speed chase across Kalamazoo County before ramming a police cruiser, learning his sentence today. Robert Brockman could spend a maximum of 15 years behind bars. Authorities say the 53-year-old intentionally hit the cruiser during that chase while trying to escape. He pleaded guilty last month to several charges, including second-degree fleeing and eluding and malicious destruction of property as a habitual offender. Well, 2 women and a 1-year-old child are dead after a crash in Indiana Sunday morning, and the driver, who police say caused it, is now facing charges. The Boone County Sheriff's Office says Matthew Small, a semi-truck driver from Greenville, caused that huge pileup on I-65 yesterday. He told police he was driving on the freeway and took his eyes off the road to set his coffee mug down, and that's when he plowed through traffic. A total of 8 other cars were involved in the crash. The other victims are expected to be okay. And a warning about your vehicles: keep them locked after a number of reports of things being stolen from inside those vehicles, even the vehicles themselves, all across West Michigan. 2 areas are sending out reminders early this week, including Van Buren County, specifically for the Bloomingdale Township area, and Kalamazoo Public Safety. In Bloomingdale, at least 5 vehicles were targeted with multiple items missing. In Kalamazoo, it's the vehicles being stolen themselves, many being left running to warm them up. If you live in those areas, police are asking if you see something suspicious to be sure and report it. Still ahead here at 5 o'clock, thousands of mourners filling the streets in Iran following the death of their top general.
We'll have reactions from Capitol Hill and how the president is defending his decision today to order that deadly airstrike.
And the trial beginning today for disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein. The message from one of his accusers and the new charges he's now facing. And now on Fox 17 News at 4, a barn with more than 500,000 chickens inside going up in flames. We'll have a live report from the scene where 8 fire departments are still hard at work. And the search continues for the teenage girl swept into Lake Michigan on New Year's Day. Tonight, we hear from the family of that teen who was last with Eliza Traynor. U.S. airstrike in Iraq. How many troops are being deployed as the tensions in the Middle East continue to rise? Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Annie Szatkowski. This is Fox 17 News at 4.
From the station with the most local news, Fox 17 News at 4 starts right now.
First here at 4 o'clock, an egg farm in Otsego Township engulfed in flames this afternoon. We have team coverage for you tonight. Our Acha El-Nashar has a look at the challenges the firefighters are facing. But first, our Lauren Edwards has details from the farm itself. Lauren? Crews certainly have their work cut out for them. That fire, of course, taxing the resources of several different fire departments. Our Acha El-Nashar is standing by live after speaking with the Otsego city manager this afternoon. Acha? Turning things to weather now, here's a live look over downtown Grand Rapids. The clouds, of course, have been with us all day long, making it yet another typical January day in West Michigan. Meteorologist Szatkowski is standing by in our weather center with the first look at what's ahead for our weekend. Family and friends of a 16-year-old girl who was swept into Lake Michigan on New Year's Eve still waiting for answers. Her body still hasn't been recovered yet, and search crews are having a really tough time in the rough waters. Fox 17's Michael Martin spoke with family members of her 18-year-old boyfriend. He joins us live now at Holland State Park with more on their search efforts. Crews are still searching for another teenager who also went missing after a New Year's Eve party. Today, the Ottawa County dive team was searching the Grand River for Hunter Klomstra. Deputies say they spent the majority of yesterday searching on land near the home where that 18-year-old was last seen. A handful of teams handled a limited ground search today as well. Investigators are still asking anyone who knows where he may be to go ahead and call Central Dispatch. Meantime, visitation has now started for Bo Belson, the 5-year-old boy who died in Montcalm County just after Christmas. Tonight's service is happening right now at Brigham Funeral Home in Lakeview. There's also a celebration of life planned for tomorrow morning at New Beginnings Church in Six Lakes. Bo, you'll remember, went missing on Christmas and was found the next day in a pond near his grandmother's house. Fundraisers and a GoFundMe are now set up to help with funeral expenses. You can find that information on our website and our mobile news app. And an update to a story we brought you as breaking news earlier this morning. A woman is now dead after being hit by a car in Wyoming. It happened on Byron Center Avenue near Porter Street around 7:30. Police tell us the 73-year-old woman was hit by a car there. She was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, and now we're learning that she later passed away. The driver was not hurt in all this. It's still unclear what led up to that accident, but we are told speed and alcohol do not appear to be factors. Police continue to investigate this crash. And a man from Holland is facing charges now, accused of driving drunk and causing a crash in Mason County. Deputies say the 68-year-old hit another vehicle around 10 a.m. yesterday on US 31 and Sugar Grover Road. We're told he left the scene, but the other driver involved followed him and then called 911. That man was arrested for an OWI. Deputies say this is now his second offense. Grand Rapids police say your tips have helped them identify the people who stole a cat last month. Yesterday, the department shared photos of a man and woman they say took that animal from Pet Supplies Plus on the East Beltline. Investigators believe they snuck that cat out in a handbag. Thanks to an overwhelming number of tips, detectives now say they know who those two people are. Police are now working to track them down. And police are looking for some suspects after shots were fired overnight on Grand Rapids' southwest side. It happened just before 3 a.m. near a home on Dorchester in Elton in the Black Hills neighborhood. That's not too far from Kensington Park. Police say multiple shell casings were found, but thankfully no one was hit. Call GRPD or Silent Observer if you know anything. George Thomas is living on a feeding tube, so he installed a generator to keep that medical equipment running when the power goes out. The problem, it doesn't work for his whole house. So when he went looking on Facebook for help, an Afghanistan veteran who also happens to be an electrician knew he had to help.
Power goes out here in Rockford quite a few times a year, 6-7 times a year.
For most of us, an outage is an inconvenience, but for George Thomas, it's a matter of survival.
I realized if I'm in the back room, laying down, the power goes out, I can't get around like I used to.
George was diagnosed with throat cancer in 2009, but just about a month ago,
I gotta run this feeding tube 12 hours a day.
he has a generator, but it doesn't work where he really needs it. Looking to change that, George turned to Facebook.
Woke up, it was like 3:30 in the morning, and I seen somebody ask for an electrician.
That's Matt Schneider. He started M. Schneider Electric 4 years ago after returning home from Afghanistan.
It wasn't a matter of, what I could do to help or if I could help. It was definitely a no-brainer.
With the hard work out of the way, Matt is going through George's entire house,
These countertop outlets all need to be GFI protected.
making sure he not only has power, but is safe too.
I am totally in shock, overjoyed. I want to hug this young man.
Matt donates often to local veterans, but says he has a soft spot for those who served in Vietnam.
War is a very ugly thing, so I can't even imagine coming back without the support system that I had, Sorry. And it's such a small task, and to have, other people kind of, oh, we're too busy, oh, we can't do it. To me, that's just unacceptable.
Another veteran, Doug Campbell, felt the same way after seeing George's post.
He can't see anything in there.
For sure.
So that was like his huge concern.
Not knowing how much the generator project would cost, Doug started a GoFundMe. But since Matt donated his time, he was able to give George a check for $2,000.
Take it and it's the least we can do, buddy. The least we can do. The least we can do. You're getting the help you need. That's what matters. Don't make me cry.
These three once strangers now brought closer together by their service and a simple request for help.
It's like the little things that can mean so much to people.
We're brothers and sisters, and we love each other. We take care of each other. Veterans help veterans.
They say food is the way to people's hearts.
Okay, you ready to do another one?
But on this day in Chef Jenna's kitchen, 14-year-old Nehemiah is learning it can be so much more than that. Take making a pizza, for instance.
That's for you, and that's for me.
It's a lot like life. All pies start out the same way.
Press real hard and get it open.
But then you get to shape it as best you can.
Kind of like you're driving a car. You gotta turn the wheel, right?
There will be missteps, but there will be triumphs too.
Oh, I did it. You did it.
The end result, a pizza that's just as unique as the chef behind it.
Good job.
Nehemiah's life certainly hasn't been easy.
I just want family to be with, someone that can comfort me. I just want someone that loves me. I never had that in my life.
But he focuses on the things that make him happy, like sports.
I like to skateboard, I like to play basketball.
And history classes in his online school,
It helps kids learn about life and culture.
which he's way ahead in, doing work at an 11th grade level. He looks up to the best of the best, like his favorite basketball player, Shaquille O'Neal.
He broke 3 backboards and they got tired of him breaking them because they had to keep replacing them during the games.
But he doesn't mind when the little guys win too.
The Patriots go to the Super Bowl. I like to see them get beat because I just really don't like Tom Brady. I like Tom Brady, but I just like to see a good player get beat sometimes.
Nehemiah's favorite holiday is Christmas, a time he hopes will come to mean spending time with a family.
I would make me feel happy because I would feel like, man, these people care about me. Like they were able to take me in. And God gave me another chance.
A chance to set a good example for some siblings.
I want to be someone they can look up to.
And be with people who enjoy his favorite things too.
I'd want to go to the movies or do something that would bond us. Or I'd want to go out to eat.
Things that bring people closer together, like sitting down to a good meal made with love.
If you're good at cooking, you're gonna be better off. Because you know what makes people happy? Food.
Yeah, me too. I like to eat food a lot.
Right? It makes you happy, doesn't it? Yeah, you better boss it out.
When Tammy Myers was diagnosed 5 years ago, she and her husband Jordan had been trying for baby number 2. When they were told they wouldn't be able to have another child naturally, Tammy had her eggs harvested, and those embryos are now frozen. Tonight, the Myers, with the help of a grant, are hoping someone out there will be willing to give them the ultimate gift by carrying one of those embryos for them.
It feels like you get stuck in this really downward spiral.
Cancer, a word that's been part of Tammy and Jordan Myers every day for 5 years.
It hits you like a Mack truck, and it's something that you never think that you're going to have to deal with in your lifetime.
Now cancer-free, the disease is still impacting their lives, just in a way they never really imagined.
We were trying for number 2 when I found the lump. So my first question to my oncologist was, how long do I have? My next question was, does this mean I cannot have another child?
Tammy's cancer is highly hormone positive, meaning having another baby would greatly increase the chances of it coming back. So with their future in mind, they made a huge decision a few days after her diagnosis.
For someone going through cancer, it's an emergency egg harvest, so it moves very quickly. But they did retrieve eggs, fertilize them, and they've been frozen since before chemo started.
Just weeks ago, the Myers learned they'd received a grant from the SAM Fund to cover one round of an embryo implantation with a gestational carrier, a request they then put out into the world on Tammy's breast cancer blog and Facebook page.
I don't think we slept for the next 24 hours and didn't even look at the post. And then our first glance, I think it had already been viewed over 10,000 times.
They know it's a hard thing to ask of someone.
This gift is beyond measurable and something that takes a really special person to even offer and would mean so much to our family.
And would also mean so much to their 7-year-old Corinne.
Our daughter has been wanting a sibling since she was old enough to know that they existed. It's something that she dreams about every day.
The path ahead is full of legalities, insurance questions, and uncertainty. But for the Myers, this chance represents hope, not just for them, but other young families on their cancer journey too.
I think this is probably like the most hopeful that we've really probably been in the last few years, I feel like.
Completely.
You know, because it's been an uphill battle, I mean, in a lot of ways.
I do find myself dreaming and visualizing a future where I can watch not only Corinne grow and develop, but also maybe another child as well.